Radio Solent.
Now, this is some lovely news for you. Green tiger beetles have been successfully bred in captivity for the first time here in the south. The rare beetles were bred as part of a wider conservation project between Sparsholt College and the Species Recovery Trust. Well, Dr. Charlotte Khan is Programmes Manager from the Species Recovery Trust and joins me on the line this afternoon. Charlotte, thank you for coming on to the programme. This is fabulous news. What are tiger green or green tiger beetles, first of all? Can you describe them?
Yes, no problem at all. And hi, thanks very much for having me. So green tiger beetles, they're really very beautiful little beetles actually. So they're metallic green in colour with sort of creamy yellow spots on their wing cases and very long purple legs. And so, yeah, very attractive beetles, about 1 to 1.5 centimetres long.
Why are they so rare then?
So green tiger beetles themselves are actually quite common in England and are sort of found on heathland and grassland sites across England. But we're focusing on them because they're very closely related to a very rare species called the heath tiger beetle, which is now only found at a very small handful of sites and very close to extinction. What we're really hoping to do is to one day reintroduce heath tiger beetles back into England. But before we start breeding them in captivity, we're trying to learn as much as we possibly can about tiger beetles generally by focusing on their close relative, the green tiger beetle.
Okay, so that sort of makes the logical sense. And here in the south, why have you chosen this place specifically? I mean, obviously you're based here, but is there a particular relationship between the green tiger beetle and this sort of habitat?
So heath tiger beetles are found at only a very small handful of sites, and they're all in this area, in sort of Surrey, Hampshire, and Dorset. So that's why we're focusing down here. And what we wanted to do was to work with green tiger beetles that were found at similar sites to the heath tiger beetle, because it felt like they would be, a much more similar match.
Okay, so how many have you bred then?
So we captured a pair of green tiger beetles last year, and they've now successfully produced 14 larvae, which are currently living in a sort of purpose-built enclosure at Sparsholt College. And yeah, they sort of reopened their burrows this year and we've had a 100% survival rate, which is just fantastic news.
Wow. So what's next then? What's the next sort of course of action in the programme to get to your end goal?
So the beetles will take another year to develop, and we're hoping that then we'll see them emerge as full adult beetles next year. Once that happens, we'll then be able to go out and catch a pair of the rarer heath tiger beetle, and we'll then be able to start breeding them. It will then take sort of 2 years for them to develop, and then hopefully we will have, a really nice population of heath tiger beetles, which we can start reintroducing.
You need a lot of patience for your job, don't you, Charlotte?
Yes.
This isn't a short-term goal, is it? Keep in touch. Let us know how it goes, and congratulations on what you've done so far. Dr. Charlotte Khan, our Programmes Manager from the Species Recovery Trust, joining me here on BBC Radio Solent. News at 4 with Helen coming up very, very shortly after this from Red Box.